Welcome in. It's Shaped by Kate. Today we're going to shape up our full body to go into a Lolasana or Pendant Pose for all levels. So if you have blocks, you can bring them. If not, don't worry. There are plenty of modifications to go into that pose without blocks. Today we're just going to start in our tabletop position. Start with our cat-cows. This is a great pose to start out with. So on your inhale, drop your chest through your shoulder joints, lift the gaze, tailbone points to the sky. Exhale, find your cat pose around the shoulders, tuck the chin. This opens up all the shoulders, spinal, and hip joints. Find any movement and rhythm. Beautiful. Come back to a tabletop. Since we will be on our wrists, let's open them up. So flip the fingertips towards the knees. If this is really intense, then stay here. If not, let's continue those cat-cows. Good. One more cat pose. And then let's flip our wrist, flip one back hand on the ground, gently lean back, find a cat pose. Maybe curl the fingers in. Release, switch to the other side, back hand to the earth, cat pose. Curl the fingers in if that feels nice. Good, and release. Widen out your stance, curl the toes under, find your downward facing dog. You can find an optional pedaling of the feet, just as long as those heels continuously press into the earth. Shoulder blades pull apart from the spine, you're broadening the back. Good. Inhale, shift forward, find your plank position. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower down into the earth. So let your belly and chest first find the earth, followed by your thighs, knees. Uncurl the toes. Melt into the earth. Palms are next to the chest. Shoulders roll back. Inhale, rise through cobra. Exhale, lower down. Shoulder blades are now continuously squeezing together as we inhale cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale one more time to cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, shift the hips back. Find downward facing dog. Inhale your right heel up to the sky, three-legged dog. Bring it forward. Let's find our lowest lunge. So bring that back knee to the floor. Sweep your swords to the sky. Rotate that pelvis forward so your tailbone faces the earth. Open up that left thigh. Hands can stay reaching to the sky if you'd like. And then maybe you find your palm tree arm. So bend your elbows, connect the fingers to the base of your back arm, and let's lean to the right here. So opening up all the way from our knee, through our armpit, all the way to the base of the elbow. Good. Come back to center. Let the arms glide down. Let's frame our right foot. And then you're just going to pick up the right hand, sweep it over to the left. Heel toe that right foot over to the edge of your mat. Find your lizard pose. Now, since we are working towards a Lolasana variation, we're really wanting those quads and hip flexors open. So in this lizard pose, let's take a twist. Right hand to right knee. Let that left thigh gently drop down. If you're not quite feeling that pose, then maybe reach your fingertips to the back of your mat. Pick up the left toes off the ground, bend the left knee, catch hold of your foot. If you're needing a deeper variation, you can come back to a forearm on a block or a forearm on the earth. We're really just wanting that top of the foot though to press into your hand, activate the left quad. Good, release, twist back to center. Pick up your back knee. And then you can either heel toe or sweep that right leg back into a three-legged dog. Good, set that foot down. Inhale to plank, shift forward. Let's take about 5 rounds of breath as we lower down to the ground. Inhale to exhale, lower. Remember, you can also do this from a modified plank. So I'm going to set my knees down just to show that here. Slowly just sinking into the mat. Uncurl the toes. Press the tops of your feet into your yoga mat. Squeeze the legs together. Elbows hug to the rib cage. Inhale, rise. Come through cobra and come through upward facing dog. So again, if you're not quite feeling warm, those knees can come to the earth. Exhale, lower back down. Good. Inhale, press. Rise into your upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, rise. This time when you lift the hips, try to keep the tops of the feet down as long as you're able, and then uncurl them. Good. Really try to press that tailbone high. Take the weight away from the wrists. You're feeling that back, the stretch in the back of your legs constantly, so they're constantly driving down. This time, let's inhale that left heel up to the sky. Sweep it forward. Find your low lunge. Set your back knee down. Reach your arms to the sky. If that tailbone is pointing back to the mat, point it towards the center of your mat. So your shoulders and hips are stacked on top of each other. Everything is squaring forward. If those arms are reaching to the sky, let's find our palm tree arms. Bend at the elbows. Left hand catches hold of the base of your right elbow, and then let's lean to the left. Think about that whole right side body lifting up and over your ear. Good, come back to center. Let your arms fall down by your side. Frame your left foot. And then sweep that left hand around the right foot, around the left foot, heel toes over to the edge of your mat. Find your lizard pose variation. And then let's open up that quad. So inhale, left hand comes to the left knee. That allows that right thigh more space to dip down. If you're needing maybe more of a stretch, bend the right knee, lift the toes off the ground. Left hand reaches for the top of your foot. Then you're already feeling that stretch there, or you can press the top of the foot into your hand, activating your quad a little bit more. Breathe to extend your quad. Good. Inhale to exhale, come back. Untwist, pick up your back knee. You could either step into three-legged dog, or this time I'll show that heel toeing back, sliding the foot, coming into three-legged dog. Good, set your foot down. Let's find that chaturanga flow one more time. So inhale, shift forward into plank. Shift your shoulders past your wrists. Exhale, lower down. Nice, slow lower towards the earth. Uncurl the toes. Then maybe lift your hands, set them back down. This time we're going to lift into upward facing dog and come back to chaturanga. So really press the tops of the feet into the mat, squeeze the legs together. Inhale, rise, upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, rise. Exhale, chaturanga. Nose kisses the earth. Inhale, rise one more time. Exhale. Good, beautiful last rep. Come back into downward facing dog. Good, set your knees down. Uncurl the toes. Press your belly to your thighs. Let your forehead kiss the earth. Find your child's pose. If you need a break from your wrist palms, open up to the ceiling. If you need a break from your shoulders, hands can reach to the back of your mat. Forearms touch the ground. And in this pose, I just want you to think about your thighs pressing against your belly. We're going to use that here in a moment for our pendant pose. Obviously, it's going to feel a lot harder because we don't have, we're trying to press away from the earth. Whereas here in child's pose, gravity is helping us, pressing that belly towards our legs. Good, inhale, rise. Roll up through hero pose. Let's lengthen our legs in front of us. And the first pose we're going to do for our pendant pose is a seated one. So this one is a great warm-up to do for pendant pose. It's also a great pose if you know you're not going to want to be doing an arm balance, maybe for your wrist or shoulders. So when we come into that full pendant pose, you can just come back to the seated position. So when you're ready, go ahead and find any variation of a boat pose. Lengthen your spine. Shoulder blades are neutral on that spine. Good, then wherever you're at, let's bring the shins together, point the toes. And I want you to plant your hands in your imaginary earth just right in front of you. Good, then on your exhale, I want you to tuck the knees into your chest, round the shoulders, find your cat pose. And I want your chin and gaze over your knees, looking forward. Use even an exhale breath out the mouth to tuck the knees in. Good, inhale, come back to neutral spine, neutral boat pose. Good, prep your hands, point the toes, squeeze the legs together. Exhale, tuck the knees into your chest. Gaze forward. You may even have to take a couple breaths to really get the knees tucked in. Really spread those shoulder blades apart. Good, come back to boat pose. One last time, plant your hands. Exhale, find that cat spine. Tuck the knees into the chest. Arms reach away from your chest. From here, just let the soles of your feet fall onto the earth. Wrap your arms around your shins and set your forehead on your knees. Breathe deeply here. Good. Lift your head. Bring the soles of your feet together. Find a butterfly pose. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge at your waist. Option to stay here, or you can round the spine, find a fold. Hands can stay tucked in or reaching forward. Good. Inhale to rise. And go ahead and just find a comfortable seated position. We're going to find one more stretch for our shoulder blades before we head into that full pendant pose. So go ahead and lengthen your eagle arms. Exhale, stack your right elbow over your left. Fingertips reach for the sky. Either press your back hands together or you can keep twisting and wrapping your arms around each other so the palms touch. And then pull your elbows away from the chest. Let shoulders sink away from the ears, and you're going to feel that stretch in your rhomboids, that muscle in between your shoulder blades. Good. With the elbows pulling apart, draw the elbows down. Good. Lift the elbows high. Still keeping the shoulders drawing down, so just the elbows are moving. Good. Let's do one more. Draw it down. Feel that stretch move along your spine. Good. Come back to center. Lengthen your eagle arms. And let's cross left elbow over right, or just the opposite way that you did. Pull the elbows away from you, just as if someone was just catching hold of the elbow, pulling it away from your body. Draw that line down. Feel that stretch move up your spine. And then draw the elbows up. Stretch goes down your spine. Good. Extend your eagle arms and then drop them down your side. Maybe do a couple of shoulder shrugs. And then go ahead and meet me in your hero pose. Now, if you already know you're going to find a modified version, you can bring out your blocks. I'll show you just the easiest modification, and that's with our blocks at our medium height. That's just because it's going to give us the most lift away from the ground. So it will give us more of that feeling of what that pendant pose will feel like. In your hero pose with your blocks by your thighs, I want you to almost grip the block as if it was a bar. So very tops of your knuckles are going to come off the front of your block, and your thumbs and pinkies are going to sort of wrap around the block. So you're not too far forward, so your blocks don't fall forward, just slightly coming off that block here. Good. Lengthen your arms. So in Lolasana or pendant pose, our arms are straight. And what helps us balance is we're going to shift our shoulders past our wrist. And that sort of friction is what's going to keep us on the earth there. So you can sort of just practice leaning forward, pressing back. And that's what the fingertips on the front here is going to help you press back. Good. Lift the hips away from your heels. And then on your exhale breath, you're going to round the spine, lift the knees away from the earth, tuck them into your chest. Good. And you've seen I've kind of shifted back. Shift back forward. If this is a lot for the tops of your feet, curl the toes under. Okay, and you can just practice holding that pose there. Wherever you're at, we're going to lift one foot off the ground. Lower it. Lift the other. Good. Set it down. Rest. Shake out your wrist. So you can do that at any height. That's sort of just a little practice run to go through your pendant pose. This next one, we're going to lift both the feet. If you kind of already know, lifting both the feet may seem a little daunting. We're going to cross the ankles. So that crossing of the ankles is going to help us tuck our knees into our chest just a little bit more than with the legs side by side. So set up your hands. Lengthen your arms. Lift your hips away from your heels. And I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left. Then on my exhale breath, I'm going to just scoop the knees into my chest. And I like to exhale out my air through my mouth because that's going to help my abs contract and help pull my thighs into my belly. So I've noticed some people, when I teach this pose, they'll kind of just inhale and exhale through their nose. But it's a great deal of work to exhale out and tuck the knees in. So that's what that pose looks like on your blocks. And again, you'll notice that when you lift, you'll do a little swing, just like a pendant. So welcome in that swing and shift your shoulders forward. Hold that pose. Good. Good. If you've been practicing that, go ahead and take a little break. If you crossed your ankles like me, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So plant your hands down, lengthen your arms, shift your weight forward, cross left ankle over right, or just the opposite way. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, tuck the knees in, round the spine. Keep exhaling to hold that in, and set the knees down. Good, and release the wrists. So that can be a lot on the wrist, because typically in our arm balance poses, we have our chaturanga arms, so our shoulders can help with that a lot. Now we're mainly just using the wrist and our shoulder blades, which we tend in everyday life to kind of forget about our shoulder blades, so it can be a lot. If that was your last one, you can kick your legs out from under you. If you wanted to maybe try it without crossing the legs, or maybe at a lower height, you can try that here. And again, if you didn't have blocks here at home, it will be just slightly harder, just because there's not as much lift away from the earth. So that's what that could kind of look like. Again, you can find a little swing or a little hop. So there's lots of options there. Whenever you're ready, you can lengthen your legs in front of you. That's really intense knee flexion. So go ahead and just shake out the knees in front of you. Good, and then let's find sort of a sloppy forward fold. I want that head and shoulders to really feel relaxed. So if you tend to, in your fold, feel like you have to lift up your head and shoulders, just go ahead and bend the knees generously. Tuck your head in between your knees. Your toes can be pointed or flexed. Even the soles of the feet can come down onto the mat. Good, go ahead and roll up to your upright pose. Roll out the wrists maybe a few more times if that was pretty wrist heavy today in your practice. And then go ahead and roll down onto your mat, onto your backs. We're just heading into a Savasana pose. Now, sometimes too, when I do these poses online, maybe your environment isn't quite as quiet or relaxing. You can always just take this moment though to sort of seal your practice with a traditional Savasana pose, laying on the earth, taking maybe 3 inhales to exhales. And then you can end your practice there. That's just sort of a way to still find a variation of Savasana, just so we're not skipping out of it just because of maybe a loud environment or maybe an imperfect quote-unquote Savasana environment. If you are ready to fall into that pose, let your body feel heavy against the earth. We did a lot of shoulder blade work, lots of thigh work, so if there's a modification that's calling your name, shift into that pose now. And I leave you here in Shavasana. Go ahead and bring that awareness back to your mat. As you inhale, you can shift out of that stillness. Make your way to a final earth pose. Find 1 to 3 more final breaths here. And then go ahead and roll up, come up to your seated position. Once you're here, hands come to heart center. Take this moment to send gratitude for finding movement, especially in your quads and shoulder blades, finding strength and balance, and bowing forward as respect to your yoga practice. Namaste.